You are listening to the Maple Footy Podcast, the unofficial football podcast of the North. I'm your host, Sam Little. Find me on socials at SamLittle44 and the podcast at Maple Footy Pod. And now there's nothing left to say except for sit back, enjoy, and welcome to the show.
Hello, yes, and welcome back to the Maple Footy Podcast. And today we have one of Forge's newest recruits. He boasts quite the impressive CV. He spent some time developing with Woodbridge Strikes SC, where he won a provincial championship and was named in the League One Ontario's MVP 2025. He also spent 2025 in the U Sports season with York University Lions, where he won the U Sport National Championship and was named as an OUA second team All Star. He also spent time developing in San Marino and Italy. It's a genuine pleasure to welcome Anthony Aromatario to the podcast. So, Anthony, thank you so much for being here today.
Hey Sam, thanks man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And also, congratulations on the official Forge debut a couple weeks ago now.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so I'm going to start this how I start how most of these podcasts here. Why soccer? What made you want to pursue this sport? And just, yeah, anything about the early days of the journey.
Yeah, honestly, my first sport it wasn't soccer.
Okay.
I grew up in a household where hockey was the main focus. I have three brothers. I got a twin.
Yeah.
I got two older brothers, and they started playing hockey when they were younger. And yeah, I played a little bit of hockey, but me and my twin brother we leaned towards more soccer. I guess it was easier access, you know.
Yeah.
All you need is a ball and a little bit of space and you could play. So me and my twin brother played soccer and my two older brothers played hockey. But yeah, it was more around the arenas instead of the soccer fields when I was a kid.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what prompted like that change from hockey to soccer? Just it was easier, or, like it was more accessible, or just like, there was a calling to it, you know?
Yeah, honestly, me and my brother just started playing house league with some friends from school and we didn't think anything was gonna come out of it.
Yeah.
You know, we were just playing for fun and one day, my friend's father, he said he noticed that we were really good, and he said, "Why don't you guys go to play rep, try it out?" And after that, we fell in love with the game, and yeah, it's
That's
been a crazy ride.
That's awesome. And was there like a moment early days where you kind of felt like maybe you could pursue this a bit further, like move up the ranks of even house league rep and pursue that further?
I think maybe when I was around 16, 15, 16, I thought maybe I can do this as a career,
Mhm.
and but when I was younger, I was just playing for fun. Like I had no ambition to go and try to play professional, but around 14, 15, around that age, I started taking it more seriously and started taking my development more seriously and looking for the best place to be.
That's awesome. And who were some players that you really looked up to and like to model your game after during those like early days of still finding yourself on the field?
Yeah, I always looked at maybe Luka Modric as someone I looked up to.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good player and like I like the way he played, how he controls the game and he has a little bit of everything in the midfield, so that's what who I look up to.
Yeah, that's a solid shout. Love
Yeah.
love Modric. He's great. And then of course, as I kind of mentioned in the intro there, you also spent some time playing abroad as well in Europe. How did that opportunity to play abroad kind of come up for you?
Yeah, so basically I was playing OPDL
Mhm.
with North Toronto and we were one of the best teams in our age group and there was a lot of eyes on us, so there was one scout that came out to one of our games and basically like the way I played and he knew he had a connection over in Italy with
Yeah.
one of the third division clubs. He knew the director there and I went out for a trial for a few weeks and I did very well.
Oh
And
wow.
then yeah, I just ended up getting my paperwork there and I was able to play. So
That's pretty cool. Never expecting like when you're going to play like a game, right? And then someone comes up to you
yeah,
afterwards
yeah,
going,
exactly. It was very good feeling and honestly, it was a very good experience moving my life over there, and I learned so much, not
Yeah.
just on the field, but off the field as well.
That's awesome. And of course, moving halfway across the world in essence, what were those initial feelings of going that far away from home to pursue this dream that you have?
Yeah, I was it's a big sacrifice. You got to move away from your family, your friends. But I think obviously the first year was hard, but after that I think it got a lot easier, and you realize like you start to appreciate everything a little bit more. So
Yeah.
when you're around your family every day, you don't how should I say, you don't appreciate it, and you're more grateful for it when you come back.
Yeah.
So
Like absence makes the heart grow fonder, I guess,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah. And then what did you learn during your time in Europe that helped you kind of develop your game even further?
I mean, in Italy, it's a very tactical game, and
Mhm.
also a little bit technical. It's a bit different than the Canadian style, even though the CPL is getting better and more tactical and technical now.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot about positioning and these kind of tactics, and I think it improved my development and like being able to play faster and different techniques and this kind of stuff.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
then you kind of mentioned a little bit. What are some of the differences that you kind of notice when playing in Europe versus Canada? And I guess the mindset, maybe not mindset,
Yeah.
play style that has to switch for you in playing the tactical way in Italy versus maybe we are getting there, but it's a different type of tactic. So what's kind of
Yeah.
the difference that you notice there?
In Italy in specific, it's very more defensive, so they're more focused defensively, and then in the attack a little bit more free, like to do what you want.
Mhm.
But defensively, that's the main priority to stay compact and win the ball, and then you can go and counter. So that was one thing I learned a lot there. Um, but also the mindset. You mentioned that mindset.
Yeah.
It's a lot different than over here. Some of those guys, this is all they have in life is football.
Yeah.
So they're ready to die for it in a way.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's I kind of, picked up on that mindset, and it's a good mindset to have. Whenever you go on the field, might be your last time.
Mhm.
So you got to leave everything out on it.
Respect. I love that.
Yeah.
And you also spent a lot of time with, of course, in League One Ontario, now Ontario Premier League, and of course with the York University Lions. I want to talk a little bit about those experiences for you. So with the Lions, you won the U Sport Championship. What was that feeling like of bringing that title to York with everything that you've also learned over in Italy and now bringing that back into university level?
Yeah, honestly, it was a weird feeling. I mean, it was bigger than what I actually expected.
Mhm.
Like I saw all my teammates that been there for 3, 4 years, and the reactions they had to winning it was, I didn't know how big it was for them.
Yeah.
For me, it was my first year playing for York, and I was just coming in, and I didn't realize how big it is to them and how special it was. So it ended up being very special in the end after seeing all of their reactions, few people crying. So I mean, it's a big achievement,
Yeah.
and I mean, it was an amazing experience with those guys, and I don't regret any of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you were named in the OUA second team All-Star team. Can you talk about the pride that kind of that brings you, not only being a champion with your team, but then getting some individual praise as well?
Yeah, I mean, the second team All-Star, it's a pretty good achievement. I mean, first team would have been better. But yeah, it was good. It's good. It was a tough season. I think it's a very different kind of football that they play. University, it's a very, kick and run and
Yeah.
physical, and I don't like to think it's my type of game. So But we did all right at the end of the season. We started playing very good football, so I enjoyed a lot the playoffs and U Sports National Championship.
That's awesome. And you
Yeah.
mentioned that that's not really your type of game. Can you kind of talk to us a little bit about how you kind of try to keep a level head during games where maybe things maybe per se aren't going your way or tactics aren't your kind of what you're kind of looking for? Can you kind of
Yeah.
talk a little bit about like when a game's not going your way, how you kind of keep you do your best to be the best, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Like when it's not going my way, I like to try to keep things simple, do
Hmm.
simple stuff. So if that's winning the ball and just passing it right away, that'll obviously give me a little bit of confidence to keep going. And then after you build that confidence, you can try a little bit of more things.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I try to do. I'm a player that likes to win the ball and find players throughout the lines. So yeah.
Yeah, fair. And then you also had a lot of great success with Woodbridge Strikes SC. Can you talk about the work that goes into winning a provincial championship as well at that level?
Yeah, I mean, when I first went into the team, Woodbridge, there wasn't a lot of expectation from me or
Mm,
for the team, We weren't expected to win the League One championship, but I think the thing that helped us a lot was we're like a family,
yeah.
Everyone had each other's backs, and also we had a mindset of going into practice every day, going day by day, and just working our hardest. And in the end, I think that's what helped us get over the line and get that championship. Because on paper, we for sure weren't the best team in the league.
Mm,
We weren't the most experienced in the league. We're actually one of the youngest, and
yeah.
I think just our work ethic and having each other's backs, that's what got us the championship.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
then can you talk a little bit about being the underdogs in a sense? Because obviously winning the title is great, but then doing it in the manner in which of maybe not being expected to go as far as you did and then winning the whole thing, does that make it that like little bit sweeter to win it at the end of the season?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. It makes it a lot more better.
Yeah.
When everyone is at the start of the season saying that Woodbridge isn't going to do very well this year, and we know our potential and we know what we can do, and then going out after game, getting the result and staying on top it feels the best.
That's awesome. And then you, of course, were also named the MVP of the league that season. How much pride does that fill you with knowing how well the team did and then how well you personally did gaining that individual recognition and respect?
Yeah, it felt amazing, honestly, to be the MVP. Uh, but like again, like from the team wise, if I didn't have everyone around me helping me, it would I wouldn't get that opportunity to be named MVP. It was from everyone's work ethic and what we did day to day, in
Yeah.
training. That's what help helped us all really because we also had other players get the defender of the year,
Mm.
goalkeeper of the year. So we all helped each other out and that's how a team thrives.
That's awesome. Everyone does their part, right? And
Yeah,
everyone
exactly.
brings it out. That's awesome.
For
And
sure.
then can you talk a little bit about this was so crazy to me that you were balancing York Lions, Woodbridge Strikes, and being a student. Can you talk about having such a full plate and having to balance all that whilst trying to, be the best player on the pitch and then I would assume being the best student off the pitch, you know?
Yeah, I mean it was a bit tough, honestly, doing school for the first time in I don't know how many years, 4 or 5 years.
Mm,
It was like a new thing again. But honestly, I wasn't in many courses. I was taking 3 courses and they weren't the hardest, honestly. So it was okay. I got a little bit of help from my teammates and we made it work. So
Good on you. Good
yeah,
on you. And then just a couple fun ones here to break up the interview for you.
yeah,
If you
sure.
could choose a midfield three to play with, so you and then two others, excluding current teammates, who are you choosing in world football?
So out of all the professionals,
Any professional you want.
Okay, so I said already Luka Modric, so I choose him. Give
Okay.
me him and oof. Oh my God. Uh, I feel like I should choose an Italian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pirlo. I'd
Kayla,
go with him.
good shout. Good shout.
Yeah.
He was so class, man.
Yeah, I know.
And then do you have like a maybe like a pregame ritual or superstition that you do? Like, maybe you put one cleat on before the other, you listen to a certain song, or you eat a certain meal, something like. Do you have anything like before game where like you do not tweak it at all?
Uh, no, I'm not really a superstitious guy. I don't like the idea of like me needing to have something to play good,
Yeah.
but I always have an espresso before the game, I guess. But like nothing too crazy, that's it.
That's awesome. I love the espresso before the game as
Yeah.
well. That's, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And then last one of these fun ones here. What's your favorite football memory of yours just as like a pure fan, like watching the sport?
Watching the sport. Uh, Probably Italy winning the Euros, honestly. That's the only thing that actually
Yeah.
it was crazy to see. When you're younger, you don't really appreciate the game as much.
Yeah.
So that was a few years ago, so you start to appreciate it a little bit more.
Mhm.
And I don't really have a team I support, but national team I'll support Italy.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta go with that one.
That's fair. I mean, that was a class tournament.
Yeah.
That's
Especially living in Woodbridge, all the celebrations, it's
I could imagine.
yeah.
Espresso flying everywhere.
Yeah.
And then back into some more of these serious ones here. Um, Players like yourself, young Canadian players, getting the chance to develop at a pro level in this environment are one of the main reasons why the CPL is where it is. So to be able to play in your own backyard, what does that mean to you as a Canadian getting to play, not too far from home now, and just what does that mean to you getting to do this now?
Yeah, it's a lot it's a lot better, Before I was playing in Italy and yeah, I have family over there, but not my immediate family, like my mom, my dad, and my brothers.
Hmm.
So being able, to play in front of them and also my friends close to home, it's not much more I can ask for. And also for a club like Forge,
Yeah.
very prestigious club in the CPL, it's a very good setup. So I'm very excited for this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you, of course, are no stranger to success. So can you talk a little bit about all those years of hard work that goes into, say, winning an MVP caliber level campaign or winning a championship? What are those moments of sacrifice, hard work, and discipline that make those big moments even bigger, I guess, like even more fulfilling?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is to have discipline. So because in this game, you're always gonna have ups and downs in your career. It's always gonna be up and down. But being able to be a professional every day and having discipline, that is what is gonna take you far in the game.
Yeah.
Who would have thought I would have been playing in CONCACAF 8 months ago?
Yeah.
Like I was just playing in League One, so.
Mhm.
I believed I could do it, but it's not about what I believe. It's about, you know, getting trust from the coach and also, yeah, that. So
Yeah.
you got to be able to always stay level-headed in the ups and also in the downs. So yeah,
Yeah.
I
And
think that's
then
important.
you mentioned the CONCACAF, your CONCACAF debut, and I wanted to talk a little bit about this because it is pretty cool. Not many people can say that they have made their debut against a team of the caliber of a Tigres. So looking back at your Forge debut at Hamilton Stadium when it was freezing cold,
Yeah.
what were kind of those emotions and feelings getting to step onto that pitch for the first time, making your debut for Forge?
Honestly, it was an amazing feeling. I didn't think I had a feeling I was gonna get in, but
Hmm.
to get in early in the 60th minute,
Yeah,
it was a big surprise, to be one of the first substitutes. So coming in, it was very good, and I was just thinking in my head, I gotta make an impact because Bobby put his trust in me, and I need to make an impact so I
Yeah.
can play in the next game, and
Yeah.
that's my plan.
And that's kind of what you did
Yeah.
because in the next game you started against Tigres. When did you kind of find out that you were starting in that second leg?
Just a few hours before the game, we had a team meeting at the hotel, and they let us know the lineup, and yeah,
Do you instantly feel that moment of like, oh wow, okay, like I'm starting
yeah,
this game?
yeah. I wasn't really expecting to start in it either. I had a little feeling, but who knows what?
Yeah.
I thought maybe you're just gonna go with a more experienced guy,
Yeah.
and then he said my name, and obviously you feel the pressure a little bit, but honestly, going into the game, it felt pretty normal. Like it was felt like a place where I belong, you know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then just for my own personal thing, how cool is it to get to play in an iconic stadium like University Stadium so early in your career too, no less?
Yeah, it was honestly crazy. Just walking out and there was I don't know how many people there were, at least 25,000, I think.
Yeah.
But the fans were very loud and it was a crazy experience. Just even after the game, I was just trying to take it all in, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't want to get off the field.
No, I don't
That's
blame you
that's
at all
one
because
thing I can say. I didn't want to leave.
I don't blame you. They're like dragging you off the pitch, like
Yeah.
getting back to the
Right
bus.
now, it's even hard for me to like. I'm thinking about it. It's hard for me to put it into words. It's
Yeah.
a different experience.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And of course, in my humble opinion, you did look very good in those two legs here. So coming on against a team like Tigres, how do you kind of stay so present in the moment, stay calm, especially making your debut, and not let the occasion kind of get to you, I guess, just because you had such an impressive display. So early on, being able to go onto a pitch against some international guys and then still looking quite good. How do you just stay so in the moment and level-headed?
Yeah, I think you just gotta realize that it's a simple game in at the end of the day, you know. It's 11 versus 11.
Hmm.
It's uh it's very simple. So you just gotta go into it like you belong there, you know? You should
Hmm.
believe that you belong there. If you're gonna believe something, you gotta believe that you should be there. Because if you believe anything else, I think you're gonna go into it and be scared and be afraid. And when you're scared and afraid, I don't think you bring out the best in yourself. So you gotta go in with confidence and everything will follow after that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's the old saying of you win or you learn. What do you think Forge learned during their two-game tie with Tigres at the start of the season?
What did we learn? What did we learn? I mean that we're not much far off of that type of competition, you know. They
Yeah,
came to Hamilton, we got a very good result, 0-0. I think that's one of the best results in Forge in the competition, CONCACAF.
it is. Yes.
And then, it's also learning that, these guys are very consistent, you know. So we went into Mexico and they showed us what they could do when you're not focused 100%, you know.
Hmm.
So there are levels to the game,
Hmm.
and I think yeah, obviously they're a level ahead. So we just got to, what we could take from that is, to be more consistent and more focused throughout the 90 minutes.
Awesome. And now, of course, getting into the last couple here, what excites you most just getting to play with Forge this upcoming season?
Honestly, I'm very excited to play with the guys. You know, from day one, it felt like a family.
Hmm.
So Forge usually wins some trophies always. So that's what I'm excited about is I'm expecting a good season from myself and also the team. And we're also expecting some silverware at the end. So that's uh that's a big thing to look forward to.
That's awesome. Add some more to the cabinet that you've
Yeah,
already got
exactly.
going on. And then, of course, getting to train with players like Becker, Borges, Wright, and many other CPL vets. How much do you relish this opportunity to learn and grow with these guys?
Yeah, I think it's amazing. to train with these guys, like how much experience they have in this league.
Mhm.
What I'm trying to do is just take as much as I can from them before they, leave.
Yeah.
And obviously they're getting older, so you just want to try to learn as much as you can from them, especially like a guy from Becker.
Mhm.
Um, he plays similar position as me, so I try to I try to look at him and see what I could take from his game and put it into mine. And yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
And then last couple here. Do you have any goals like for yourself, like like any personal goals coming into this upcoming season?
Yeah, I think one of my goals is to become a full-time starter with the team
Yeah.
and be an important part in the midfield.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then, of course, one final one here. As tradition on Maple Footy, I always like to ask you guys this. What is something that you like the Forge faithful to know about you ahead of this upcoming season?
Uh, well, I think I would want them to know that, I'm gonna fight every game, every day in training. Like I'm gonna work my hardest, and this is something I want to make a long-term career. So
Mhm.
it's very important. This game is very important to me, and yeah, I'm gonna work my hardest to get results and to show them why I belong here.
That's awesome, man. And if the first two legs were any indication, I do think that we can say you definitely do belong here because I'm really looking forward to seeing you play this season. I wish you absolutely nothing but the best, and just want to say thank you so much for doing this today. So thank you, and I'm going to wish you absolutely nothing but the best of luck in this upcoming season, and we'll be cheering you on all throughout. So Anthony, thank you so much today.
Thanks, Sam. Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you. So that does bring to an end our interview with Anthony Aromatario. And just want to say a big time thank you to Anthony and Forge for making that happen. And yeah, I really thought it was quite the good interview. Anthony, since that interview, has played a couple games for Forge and he's looked good so far. So really, really happy for him. I love seeing the young Canadian players get their chance, take their chance, and do well with it. So hoping that these first few games as a sign of things to come for him throughout the season. And, you also Maple Footy where we love the guys that we interview, so we'll be cheering for him every step of the way. And if you did like this interview, I have an entire playlist devoted to these interviews that you can go over and watch/listen to at your discretion. I do think that if you did enjoy this one, you'll definitely enjoy all of our other ones, so why not give them a shot? If you are looking forward to more interviews, lucky news. I have two currently recorded, ready to go. So over the next couple weeks, I will be dropping those ones as well. So definitely some stuff to look forward to. More stuff to look forward to, like the weekly recaps we always do and all that fun stuff. So please do consider sticking around. I do hope that you enjoyed this one. Once again, big time thank you to Anthony and to Forge. And of course, to you for listening/watching wherever you listened/watched from. And outside that, thank you so much. And until next time, cheers, everyone.
And that was your Maple Footy podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Check my socials for any and all future updates. Remember to support Canadian football, be kind, and until next time, live, laugh, little.